For the past 2 years or so, I've been doing house hunting all across Mexico because I've been looking for a property to buy. However, plans have changed slightly and I'm finding myself coming back to Phoenix, Arizona. I want to see what the housing market is like here. What can I get for my money? What are the comparisons between house hunting in Mexico versus in the US? Let's do it. So this is a house that I'm looking at in Chandler. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,250 square feet for about $460,000. Although this isn't my #1 preferred location because it's a little far outside of the city in places that I might want to be, this house seems like it's been recently renovated and updated. So they've got like new countertops, white backsplash. There are no big appliances. They don't have a washer dryer or a refrigerator, but there is a dishwasher and an oven, microwave. Here is off of, the living room area, and I don't know if this right here could be a dining room or how you would really lay that out. That's something but right off of this kitchen area is one of the bedrooms. I noticed this is a feature that seems to be in many of the houses, this sliding barnyard door. But in this room, we got a closet window that looks out to the yard, and I'll show that in a moment. It also has a fireplace, which is a feature that always makes me laugh in Phoenix, Arizona because of the summers, but And then in the hall here, got a nice closet for storage, some linen closets, cabinets, then the hall bathroom, which has a bathtub, a nice clean white backsplash here. And then here are the 2 other bedrooms. So this is the smaller of the 2, I think the smallest of the 3 actually. Again, looking out to the backyard, little closet here. And then we go into the final double door entrance of the primary bedroom. All of these, it looks like throughout the entire house, new carpet, new flooring, new paint, new everything. Here is the somewhat small walk-in closet compared to some houses that I've seen. And then of course this also has a view out to the backyard. This sort of wraps around the other 2 bedrooms. Yeah, the other 2 bedrooms, so the other side also has its own bathroom. Honestly, I really like the flow of this house. It's also located in a nice neighborhood, really quiet, wide street out there. And then last thing I wanted to show is this backyard. So here we have this kind of paved area that you could put a covering and relax out here. But this is perfect to have, garden space out here. If you have a pet, then you can run around, and it wraps around to this side. Final thing I wanted to show through here is where you could put a washer and dryer, have some storage like linen closet storage. And although this is going to be a little bit dark, got a 2-car garage with this nice epoxy flooring. And with how absolutely brand new it smells in here, I'm pretty sure if you move in, you would be the first owner to all of this stuff. Just everything is nice and completely brand new. So this next house I'm taking a look at is a 4-bedroom, 1.5 bathroom in Tempe, just shy of 1,600 square feet for $475,000. So where I'm currently standing is the kitchen. I'm always such a huge fan when they have a big island, so you have some nice movement. Clearly lots of storage space, lots of cabinets, big ol' refrigerator. That goes out to the back, I'll show you in a second. And then coming through here, this is a nice big living area, which connects to a bedroom here. This could possibly be an office, I think, because there's no closet space. And then coming through here, we have 2 bedrooms. Here's the main bathroom. No bathtub, and it's really cramped, to be honest. This is the only main bathroom that has a shower. So here's that, and you kind of see where I'm standing here. It's just really kind of cramped in here. Beep, 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 beep. So go back, we've got a hall closet here for some storage, another linen closet there. This is the 2nd largest bedroom with kind of sort of ish a walk-in closet here. Very similar in size to the one in Chandler that I saw. This looks out to the road, so they've got a big tree here, which I love to see. Finally, not finally, second to last bedroom that I'm gonna show. This is the primary bedroom with the main major downside being that it's only a half bathroom, and a very tiny half bathroom at that. Just like the last one, I mean, really just claustrophobic in here. I feel like there should be a shower right there, but no. And then for it being the primary bedroom, pretty small closet there. So Then they did something really interesting with this place. So again, here's the living room, and that's where you see out to the streets. Then you go out here. This would have been the garage, but they've enclosed this space so you can park right out in front of there. There's a door, so there's like a private entrance here, which means this is almost like a casita. I put a fan in there. It has AC, windows on all sides, but there's no bathroom connected to it. So it's almost like, I don't really know why they even have a private entrance. And I thought, okay, maybe come over here. This will be the bathroom, but it is in fact the washer dryer, workout area, a little bit of storage, and then this leads to the backyard. So this is nice, covered patio area, got a tree over here, a really spacious backyard, and I believe that's another storage. Almost looks like it could be a casita, but I think the big issue, the biggest, what might be considered for me a deal breaker, is no privacy from the neighbors, and on the other side of that fence are railroad tracks, and then over yonder there is a high school. I think it's a high school, so there's a football stadium, so probably lots of noise, safety issue when it comes to the train tracks being right there. This house is just a little quirky. For the price, I understand that being close to ASU, the university, it's gonna be a little more expensive, so that's at the $475 price range, but for everybody in the house to share that one bathroom, not a vibe for me. So as you may know, recently I've had some major life changes, like my international move from Mexico to Phoenix, and now I'm looking to buy a house. Well, major life changes come with major stressors and can be seriously overwhelming. So I want to share what I've been doing to maintain my sanity. Daily meditation helps me take a pause from it all so I can stop overthinking and make clear-headed decisions when it matters the most. For a long time, I tried and failed to make this a regular habit as much as I wanted to until I found Aura, which is an all-in-one app for your well-being and sleep. It has thousands of meditations, stories, and so much more like CBT, life coaching, breathwork, and spirituality, all curated by hundreds of expert coaches and therapists around the world. The reason I've been sticking with this app is because it makes it so easy to incorporate mindfulness into your life, and it's personalized, not one size fits all like other apps. Aura has been a game changer for me, and I know it will change the way you experience daily meditation. So if you're someone like me who tends to have a racing mind and overthink, I dare you to try a 30-day meditation challenge. It might take a bit of willpower to get past the doubt that this isn't working after 5, 6, maybe even 9 days, but imagine the difference you'll see in your life if you allow your mind to really embrace what Aura's tracks are guiding you through. So get started completely free on Aura's website using my special link in the description. The first 500 people get a 7-day free trial plus an exclusive 25% off. Now keep in mind, I have almost 100,000 subscribers, so if you want to get started doing this, and I highly recommend that you do, you might want to jump on it before somebody beats you to it. Okay, so I was just about to go inside this house behind me, but it sounds like there's a dog in there, so we're kind of not sure if there's somebody home or not. But this one is at $415,000 for a 2-bed, 1 3/4 bath. The big issue though is we're on a cul-de-sac here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 other houses, which my dad pointed out would be a huge issue for parking, but also you're just like really smashed up against everybody else. So with the only being 2 bedrooms and in this kind of cramped situation, I'm actually not too keen on seeing the inside anymore. And also we don't want to get eaten alive by a guard dog. I was especially intrigued to see this particular house because it's in downtown Phoenix, which means it's got some historic elements to it. We're looking at a 3-bedroom, 3-bath for 1,435 square feet for $480,000. This is by far the most charming house that I've seen so far. So many beautiful elements to it, like the tiles that they have in the kitchen, the archways, and I especially loved how it was all sort of interconnected, all the rooms connected to each other. There's lots of, well, there's plane going overhead because this is pretty close to Sky Harbor, but there's so many entrances to the house, and for instance this one behind me could be converted into a little casita where either I could live and rent out the rest of the house or vice versa, because it has its own bathroom, sink, you know, its own area, so there's a lot of potential in a place like this. It would be kind of a good investment in terms of where I could live, but also to rent out if I was traveling or whatnot. Really, really tempting place that I will definitely be considering. This next place I'm taking a look at is located in Phoenix, or maybe considered North Phoenix. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse just above 1,000 square feet for $345,000. Considering a place for myself, I would ideally like to see it have 3 bedrooms, so I could have my primary bedroom, office, guest bedroom, and then potentially one to rent out. However, this does check off a lot of my other boxes. Love whenever the kitchen opens up like this, so you've got some nice flow from here to what would be the dining area, living space. Interestingly, for a relatively small place like this, it does have 2 entrances. So one here where you can see they've got some antique, historic washer dryer and some storage above there, which goes straight through to the kitchen. You see a nice window here to the entranceway patio, kind of front patio area. And then also the official front door. So that's kind of interesting. You got door and door, just gotta back up. Then from the living room area, oh, forgot to mention, I would have a nice little dance studio here with the mirror. As long as I don't hit my head on this light fixture. And then coming through the hallway then, you've got some storage here, which is nice, and then another like linen closet area, and then the 2 bedrooms. This would be the secondary bedroom, which has got the window here, again looking out to this front courtyard entrance area, and then a closet, overhead fan, and it seems like they put in brand new carpet. Really, a lot of this place has been updated and redone because it was built in the late 70s. However, you see with like the tile and everything, it's got some newer elements. In this one, got a bathtub, standard bathroom, but of course, like I said, they've redone a lot of the fixtures. And this is the primary bedroom. So a walk-in closet, and then its own bathroom with a shower, nice sink, and relatively spacious. I do believe both of the bedrooms are about the same size. This one though is obviously the primary, not only because it has a bathroom connected and a walk-in closet, but it also leads out here to this back patio space. Let me go show you. This is your storage closet. And it looks like they redid at least the paneling here on the balcony cover. There's a fan, a little droopy kind of sad fan, but I love the space back here. So it already has lots of mature plants, but plenty of space that I could also do my own gardening and have plants. Cliff had made the brilliant observation as well that when it comes to this room, the primary room, since this is getting a lot of sun, it does immediately feel like the hottest room in the house. It'd be interesting to see if I was able to get the permits or what it would look like to be able to add an awning or some type of cover to protect from that baking down sun. Maybe even more trees, if they could possibly shade this side of the house a little more. If you come over here, in the back, you have this nice green belt, so this is gated off for security and privacy, and then lots of walking paths all throughout the complex. It also has a community pool, and one downside of this property, of course the downside of any property is when it has an HOA. In this case, it's $174. My max HOA that I would consider paying is $200. Of course, not having one though is all the better because it's less of an expense that you'd be paying every month. But I really like this place, despite it not being the 3 bedrooms, despite the HOA. It seems very quiet, very safe. Everybody seems to take a lot of pride in maintaining their little townhouse and their community. So here's what it looks like out front here. The complex, the whole community is very quiet, but like I said, it seems like people take a lot of pride in maintaining the cleanliness, or perhaps that's included in the HOA. Somewhere around here is the pool, so I think I'm gonna go try to find that. Some more astute observations made courtesy of the old daddy on the patio. Looking across from this unit is this one, which has solar panels on the roof. I'm super interested in doing something like that because, as I was just telling my dad and Cliff, in Phoenix, one thing I would love to not have to worry about is the cost of electric. Especially in the summer, I'd like to keep it as cool as I feel is the most comfortable and not have to be thinking of, is it gonna be $200, $300, $500 this month? So I have to brag on Cliff for a second because, of course, I'm going through picking out houses that I want to see from Zillow, and you're sending me listings as well. I had picked one out though that Cliff looked in the fine print detail, what is it, the notes?
Yeah, private notes from the realtor to another realtor.
And apparently there were some really sketchy clauses in there, essentially saying what, that you're buying it as is, that seller's not paying for insurance.
Yep, they're not going to cover a home warranty. They're not going to, don't ask for any concessions, accept it as is, you know. Those are all indicative of like, hi seller, me as a buyer knows something's wrong with this house, but we don't want to tell you, and we would just like for you to just write a check. And so that's like, you know, not a good sign. So we didn't go check it out.
No, so I was like, nope, on to the next one. And so this is why you need a pro realtor on your side, like Clifford, because that's not something I know to look at. And when I read it, I was like, what is this even saying? It's like realtor version of legalese.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, but it was like, perfect. Yeah, so they clearly know they're sitting on some type of a landmine situation and something, I don't know, but nope, on to the next house. Moving right along. This next house that I'm looking at is also in North Phoenix. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, lots of features that I really love, but I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the ones that I'm not a huge fan of. Now this is 1,400 square feet for 425,000, I believe. So where I'm standing right now is the living space, living room area here. Dining room is probably gonna be right around here. Pretty cool kitchen. I will always love when it opens up to the space so you can kind of entertain a bit, especially when it has kind of like an island. Nice double door fridge. Perhaps my favorite feature of the entire place, legitimately, is this tiny dishwasher. I mean, seriously, that is so cute. And how often do you have it where you can't fill up the whole thing but you want to run a load? Oh my gosh. And then a cool chandelier up here. This is a little odd, washer and dryer right off of the kitchen, which is pretty much taking up the pantry area. But, you know, that's just a design choice they made, I suppose. And then here is kind of like what seems like it used to be an outdoor patio that they have enclosed. Unfortunately, super odd is it's really lumpy. Like they didn't level out the foundation, so you can kind of see down here, floor is kind of coming up, cracking up, and then also over here, you know, that type of thing. So the devil's in the details, as they say. This looks out to backyard. It's all dirt right now. I would probably plant trees or do something to make this look a little more appealing. Probably want to put a brick fence, maybe the neighbor would go in on that, but who knows. And then, okay, so to the rest of the house, front door right there is a little coat closet, a linen closet here. This is where the water heater is. Then you have the 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. Start in the primary bedroom, which has its own mirrored door closet. This looks out to the backyard, and then its own private bathroom. Then across the hall here is a second bedroom. This looks out to the street, another mirrored door closet, a third bedroom, which is pretty much the exact same, once again looking out to the streets. And then this is the guest bathroom / bathroom that those 2 bedrooms share, which has a bathtub. Essential feature in my book, must have a bathtub. It looks like really they've come in here and renoed the whole thing. So new floors, new paint, new sinks, new fixtures like these fans. Could not think of the word fan. Why? I'm not a fan of when I can't come up with the right word. But then there's just elements, it's like, I will never, could never live in a place with what I call tippy-tappy floors. Listen. Where it's like cheap enough that it's kind of hollowish in a way, or it's not totally like solidly into the foundation. So yeah, there's some things I like about this place, but I could feel the cheapness of it, and I'd probably want to come in here and redo a lot, which means I'd be spending more and just, not the project I'm looking for. I would also ideally love to see a house with an enclosed garage. In this case, it doesn't have that. It's possible that I myself could enclose it. Well, I myself, no. I could hire somebody to enclose it. But also, my dad and Cliff noticed, got some termite damage here to the wood on the outside of the garage, so that's never what you want to see in a house. So this next house I'm looking at in North Phoenix, I believe is the most expensive of all the ones I've seen so far at $495,000 for a 3-bed, 2-bath at just over 1,500 square feet. I love it, especially starting out here in the kitchen and either dining room or living space. I'm not sure which of either of these sides it would be, but this kitchen is like the nucleus of the space. So this massive island where you can put some bar stools, beautiful kitchen with these countertops, and brand new everything in this place. The owner invested so much money, so this isn't a flip. This is somebody who lived here and wanted to make all these improvements to just brand new appliances, brand new flooring, and these are not the tippy-tappy floors. So you have the nice spacious entryway here, and then it goes right into the guest bathroom with a bathtub, and then this bathroom would be for bedroom number 1, bedroom number 2. I'll go in this one, and this is actually not the primary bedroom, but it does have a walk-in closet, and I was actually noticing that this walk-in closet, I'm pretty sure is bigger than the primary bedroom. So you go in here, the window looks out to the street, and you got a similarly large, but not quite as big, I don't think, closet. And then it is the primary bedroom because it has its own bathroom here with, once again, really nice fixtures, totally new, and a style of shower that I don't think I've ever seen where everything drains to one side. I think that's somehow fancy and special feature, kind of neat to have. If it's there, sure, why not? The final bedroom is the smallest of the 3. Got a mirrored closet door there. This looks out to the side of the house. But really, so much of money was invested into this place to make it a nice living space. If I was gonna pay $495,000 for a house, it would be something like this. And I'm not even done showing you everything. So out here, we've got the garage space with epoxy floors, 2-car garage. I said if it came with the 2 cars, I would put an offer in on it today. And then coming over here is where you would put the washer dryer. I was also saying, even though this does have a hall bath already, it would be kind of nice to maybe turn this into a bathroom as a purely guest bath, so those 2 bedrooms could have that bathroom be kind of just for them. So this might be a little bit of a downside or just a, overall consideration. This backyard, while it is very spacious and they've done a nice job, I don't know, making it look clean with the rocks and, enclosures around the trees and everything, there are some commercial businesses there, so I think that's like a tire shop, and I'm not sure what these other ones are. But since there's an alleyway here, if I were to get a house like this, I'd probably want to put some extra security, and as Cliff was suggesting, probably plant some trees, like ficus trees, he said, to mitigate some of the privacy concerns or even like any potential noise of trucks going back here. But oh man. I really, really super love this place. I'd have so much room for gardening. Here's just to show you this side of the house. I could even, as Cliff suggested, maybe build a casita here for guests. But this house, like I said, if I was gonna spend this amount of money, it would be for something that somebody already invested in to turn it into a really nice luxury space. I also wanna go out here and show the front really quick because this entryway could also be enclosed. So Cliff was suggesting I could put a wall there and kind of bring it up this way so I could have planters, table and chairs, something like that. And I also want to show that in addition to the nice big 2-car garage, this is a maybe 6-car driveway on a pretty quiet and wide street. So although this might be a little more north than I would ideally like to look at in Phoenix, it's charmed me. It's charmed me quite a bit. Charm aside, affordability is another factor, but a big difference between buying a house in Mexico and in the US is I would be able to get a loan for any amount that I wouldn't be able to pay beyond a down payment, whereas in Mexico, that's not the case. There are ways that you can get loans and to finance houses, but it's pretty much like you gotta have the cash to lay down to get the place you want. I will get more into that in terms of loan whenever and if ever I get to the point where I'm ready to put a down payment or move forward with an offer. There's a strong possibility I might be doing that with this house though. So this has been a really cool start of just dipping my toes in the water, seeing what the housing market is like here in Arizona, and this is just the beginning. But if you want to see a comparison of what it was like house hunting in Mexico, I have linked a video on the screen here, so you can continue watching and see really what our house is like there versus here in Phoenix. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos from me, and one more thing before you go. Gong that bell if you want to be notified the next time I release a new video, and I hope to see you there.